Okay, hey, how's it going? I like that new intro. Fantastic. Well, welcome again to the Double Touch podcast. I did my first one last week, and I wanted to start today before a game starts to talk about my love. My love for soccer, my love for football, and the main team that I root for. Which the main team that I root for is struggling right now. I don't like it. They are here. I got some show notes. They are in 13th right now. So if you follow the EPL, you'll have an idea of who I'm talking about. It is the Red Devils, Manchester United. I've been a fan. I've been a fan for about 20 years. And 13th place is just not acceptable. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. So the first topic that I want to touch on is the sporting director, Dan Ashworth, exiting the club. Exiting, fired, released, whatever you want to call it. I've looked at a couple of other podcasts, some news, some soccer podcasts, and just people that generally know soccer. They know Manchester United. The way I look at it is Ruben Amorim came into the club. Let's be real. What happened is Ruben Amorim and Dan Ashworth met. Ruben said, no, this is not the guy that I'm going to work with the higher ups. And Dan is gone. A lot of people are saying, this is not a good look for Manchester United. Dan Ashworth was very highly touted as a fantastic, great sporting director. And maybe he is. Maybe he is. But you're trying to change the culture, the mid-sublime culture that has become Manchester United for the last, 5-10 seasons. We need something that's going to shake up the foundation. I think Ruben Amorim is that shakeup. And Dan Ashworth was hired before he came on. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. At all. I'm looking at it from strictly moving forward, and is this going to work with Ruben? I believe that Ruben came in and said, not only does the personnel on the pitch need to be right, but the personnel that I'm, even with in the front office needs to be right. This is, look, whether they talk about it or not, it's just common sense. Dan Ashworth was in there. Ruben Amorim came in. 2 weeks after Ruben took over, Dan is gone. Gee, I wonder what happened. Ruben Amorim said, no, I'm not going to work with this guy. He does not have the vision that I have for the club to make this a top, if not the top club, not only in England, but around Europe and around the world. So to me, I don't think it's a bad look for Manchester United. I think this, to me, as a supporter, as a fan of 20 years, this shows me, okay, they brought in this manager. They totally believe in this guy, that they're willing to let go of the sporting director they just hired 5 months ago. So to me, it's not that big of a deal. Some people might say, oh my God, this is horrible. It's a black eye to Manchester United. It makes it look like they don't know what they're doing. No, I think they know exactly what they're doing. They're getting rid of anybody that doesn't agree or have the same vision and mission that Ruben Amorim does. It's that simple. I don't see how bad this is. This is sending a clear message across the bow to everybody at Manchester United. Either get along with the new manager or you're gone, whether you're a player or you're in front office. Somebody believes or some people believe that Ruben Amram is the man for the job. And I'm totally in support of that. I don't like when a new manager comes into any soccer club, any sport, and they're a coach or a manager. And the previous office regime, like the sporting director or the director of personnel, you bring in this coach that has a different mindset than what was there before. How is that even going to work? Look, I totally believe once you're in a particular position and you know what you know, it's hard for you to change and adapt. Ruben probably met with somebody that's higher than Dan Ashworth, said, Dan's a good guy. He probably is a great sporting director, but we are not already in a few meetings that we've had. We do not see eye to eye in what I see as the vision for this club. It's that simple. And if you think that Ruben has no say in the next sporting director, you're crazy. You're crazy. He's going to have to. Actually, if anything, I would go to him. He needs to be in the meetings. He needs to be in the interviews. He needs to be involved in everything. Because the next sporting director needs to align. He needs or she needs to align with what Ruben wants. Ruben does not have to align with what the sporting director wants. They need to align with this vision that Ruben has. And it's been very laid out, I am sure. And this is why that move happened. So again, for me, I'm fine with it. Dan, probably a great guy, great sporting director, but he just doesn't, he does not meet Ruben eye to eye when it comes to what Ruben wants for the club. It's that simple. So that's one of the things, one of the headlines that's going on. It's been going on for about a week now. And, and even though he met, like I read here, even though he met with the chief executive, Omar Berrada, look, Ruben met with Omar and basically told Omar, this is not going to work. And that's it, and Godspeed to Dan Ashworth, wherever he goes next. Fantastic. It is what it is. So let's move on to, now a fan, watching these games that have been going on. What was it? 2-0. Let's see. Last 5 games. Ipswich, that was a draw, 1-1. Then we played, Manchester, Bodeglimt. They beat them 3-2. They trounced Everton 4-0. And then what I like to call disastrous set-piece defending happened. And it's happened now in the last 2 games. The 2 goals, if I remember correctly, against Arsenal, and I could be wrong, but at least one of them was poor defending on a set piece. I think both of them were just disastrous. Like, what the hell's going on? And then against Nottingham Forest. Now, look, I don't want to. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to do it. Nottingham Forest? Are you kidding me? Yes, they're playing great. Yes, they are. They are number 5 in the league right now. 19 goals for, 18 against. Look, you're not going to be top 5 continuing that trend. You need to be at least double digits by the end of the year. Do I think that trend's going to continue? I don't think so. I think eventually Nottingham Forest will fall off a little bit. They might still be top 10, but not top 5. And again, in losing that game 3-2 to Forest, in another goal happening on a set piece. Like, what the hell is going on? I hope Ruben this past week, all he did was set piece defending, because this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Having three in the back has not. I heard some people like, oh, it's it's the system. It's because of the formation. Look, in set pieces, everybody's defending. You got to mark a guy. In a set piece, it doesn't matter if you have two defending, three defenders, four defenders. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. You got to mark a guy. Somebody's just not marking somebody or out jumping somebody. They're not marking them correctly. So this is disastrous. I hope that today, when they play here in about, I don't know, in an hour or so, when they play Victoria Pleasant, they take care of set piece. Because if you don't think that Victoria Pleasant is going to try to do some set pieces and score on set pieces, then you're crazy. Because clearly, for the last two games, Manchester United cannot defend a set piece for their life. So, and look, I'm not taking anything away from Arsenal. Arsenal's definitely a better team. They're third. 29 goals for, only 15 against. They got a 14 goal differential plus. They haven't lost in the last 5 matches that they've had. So Arsenal's definitely a good team. I'm not taking anything away from them. Forest, I'm not taking anything, but there should have been at least a draw there. That set piece, again, after the disastrous set piece defending against Arsenal, should have not happened against Nottingham Forest. So that was the other thing. And hopefully this clears up and I have a better day today after watching this game. I believe it's the Europa League against Victoria Pleasant in Victoria Pleasant today at 12:45 Eastern time. So that should be an interesting matchup. And then the other third thing that I wanted to touch on is the players. The players on the pitch right now. I read a little article about possible players that are going to be going. Look, and if you are a fan of the club, you're probably going to have my view of things, which that's what I do. Don't get me wrong. I love and I like certain players, and I wish certain players would stay. I wish certain players would come in. But I'm a club first guy. Whatever is good for the club is who I want on the squad. So there was a little thing that Amrin decided to substitute Bruno Fernandes in the game against Forest because, and people were questioning why he did that, is Bruno looked fatigued and he didn't have fresh legs. Has Bruno been complacent with the style of play and with the games and the training that Ruben has brought in? He's fatigued. Maybe he can't hack it. World class player. Don't get me wrong. I follow the Portuguese national team. Bruno is awesome. Love the guy. Love seeing him play. Love his demeanor. Love his attitude as a captain of the team. But look, if Ruben has to go, if Bruno has to go, Bruno has to go. I also saw that the club put a 40 million pound fee for who was it? Let me see who did they put a fee on just recently? Marcus Rashford. So they just put that. That's telling me that Marcus is gone. Whether it's right now in about 3-4 weeks in that transfer window or in the summer. It is what it is. I'm Marcus in the last couple of games. Yeah, he's looked decent. But before that, I think he only had one goal. One goal before the last 3 matches, which is like, I believe, one goal in 12 games. His form has been horrible. Horrible. And look, we're playing, Manchester United is playing Victoria Pleasant today, Manchester City in 3 days in regular league play. Then 4 days after that, next Thursday, and a week from now, they're going to play Tottenham for the EFL Cup. Then 3 days later after that, they're going to play Bournemouth for league play. And then 4 days after that, another league match against the Wolves. So this is not an easy end to this year. So look, I look at this as all the players can get a pink slip. All the players. It's just that simple. Either you adapt to the system or you don't, and you're gone. Club first. To me, I'm club first, player second. All these games are tryouts, guys. All these games are tryouts. Why do you think he's changing people's positions? The starting 11 is different almost every game. You have some people here. Some people are constant. All these games are tryouts. All of these games are tryouts. And I do expect a few names leaving right now in a few weeks in the transfer window. I do see it happening because it's just not going to work. Some players are just not going to be there, and it's not going to work. So we'll have to see who those players are. There's a couple of articles out there that show the players that actually are untouchable. And it was interesting. So I wonder, and I believe it came from a German newspaper, and I would cite it now, but I don't quite remember which one it was. It might have even been Sky Sports Germany, where in an article they actually detailed and they named names of players who were untransferable. So I don't even know if that's a word, but that's the word they used. So they were not going to get transferred. And others were, if you were not on that list, somebody wants to pay the right amount, you're gone. Look, Ruben did this in Portugal. So with people that I don't even know, I didn't know, and I'm sure those players are fantastic. They're amazing in his system. But these players, I'd say at least a third of the team is going to be gone. And I'm talking big names too. Bruno could be gone. Rashford could be gone. Let me go down the line here. Since we're getting into this, let me go ahead and look at this roster. Let me look at the squad. Onana, Andre, our keeper, he's not going anywhere. Harry Maguire, gone. Lindelof, gone. De Ligt, gone. And again, this is who I think is going to be gone. Eriksen in midfield, gone. Casemiro, gone. Bruno Fernandes, gone. Forwards, Rashford, gone. Anthony, gone. And I will say Garnacho is 50-50. Garnacho needs to get his head straight. A couple of weeks ago, he had a little bit of a diva moment. Some of you that follow Manchester United know what I'm talking about. Had a little diva moment. It's a little sad that people weren't happy that what he was with his play. Get over it. I know he's a young guy. Look, if you're 18 years old and you're in professional sports, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to treat you like an adult. Get over it, dude. You're making millions of dollars playing a sport that I love, you love. millions love. You're getting paid for it. Suck it up. You're in the top club. The top club. And I'll say it. Even though they're in 13th, you're in the top club in the world. And you're a little upset because, the fans were on you about scoring goals or whatever it was. Get over it, dude. Get over it. I don't know if you're 19, 20. I don't care. You're getting paid to play the game that we all love. Get over it. If he continues to have that attitude, he's going to be gone. If he can come with it, he has the pace. I believe he has the conditioning for Ruben's system. But if his head is not right, he will be gone. Replaced. So guys that I'm excited about, I am excited about, let me see. I'm excited about Maz on defense. Lisandro Martinez. Yodo, I'm excited about. Diego Dalot, I believe he's playing good. Those four right there, Yodo, Martinez, Masraoui, and Dalot, I'm fine with. Shaw, look, I love Shaw. I love his intensity. He's just injury prone. He's just very injury prone. And if he can, under Ruben's system, if he can get it together and stop being injured, he's there. Midfielders right now, I think Mason Mount can be on the team. Again, injury prone. Menu. Malaysia is good. I love how Manuel Ugarte plays. I love Ugarte. I love how he plays. Xerxes, I'm excited. Hoyland. Ahmad. And I am excited about Garnacho, regardless of what I just said. But I think that's a young enough team with pace, trainability that I'm excited about, and I'm excited to see who comes in. So those are the three things that I wanted to touch on today. So again, what do you think about the exit of Dan Ashworth from Manchester United? Do you think that's a good thing or not? Leave it down in the comments. And does Manchester United need to also practice defending set pieces? Hopefully they have. I'm sure they have. But what's been happening in the last two matches cannot happen again. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Next time, maybe I'll touch on a couple of other teams that I follow online and watch their games and watch across the world. There's some teams that I follow in Argentina, over in Spain, here in the MLS, also in Mexico. So we'll touch on those again and have a great Thursday. Enjoy the game. 12:45 is the Man U game. Hopefully we'll have a better result than the last two that we've had. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.